So the challenge shuttle said I was only allowed one of each tower, and yep. And this is done in update 31.2, so that means I won't be able to get down a Monkey, sadly. So I'll just put... Oh. Well, my stalling strategy is not going to be useful. It's alright, I'll just get down a BMA and... Wait, what? Why are there only Why is only the 4th tier allowed? Did they removed the BMA or the Alchemist? Did they do this? They did the same for the Ninja. Why have you removed all the towers? What did they do to you? They've removed all of the good tier 5s, all the tier 3 engineers. How am I supposed to beat around 120 with one tower at a time under these conditions? These are unfair working conditions. You know what? I'm going to do this challenge again, except this time I'm going to allow all the towers. Why the heck would you ban all of these? What did the towers ever do to you, you sick fuck? I was so mad that they banned the Blue Master Arcos that I made an entire challenge of myself and I wanted to beat it. So in this video, I'm going to see if I can get to round 300 with only one of each tower being allowed on the screen at a time. Now, this is done in the challenge editor, so I cannot physically get any paragons. I can't cheese the system either, and I can't say, oh, I can have only one tower on the screen actually helping. I can get a paragon in between the rounds. No, this is legitimate. I'm going to beat round 300 with only one of each of the 24... Wait, there's 24? Are there 24 towers now? This just goes to show that I've been playing BTD6 for way too long. Now, the strategy behind this game is going to be pretty simple. Basically, I just farm like crazy with the farming towers that I actually have before around 100, and then buy my entire setup, and then cruise to around 300. And I can't just, like, cheese the system with tech bots and have them linked to Azili's ability or the Call to Arms village, because as you can see, I'm not allowed powers, and I don't want to AFK to around 300 again. Well, I do. By the way, that video got so many comments saying please do this again, that I'm actually going to try and optimize the strategy. I'm going to make an entire playlist dedicating a bunch of attempts to actually seeing how early can I lazily get to around 300, because all of you said you wanted it. Well, I kind of incentivize you to, but who the heck cares about that? By the end of round 30, I have a pretty decent farming setup going, and I sell my marketplace to get down a 230 bank. The reason I do this is because over time, the bank is going to earn more money since it collects interest at the end of every round, and this is compounding. And that gets very strong very fast. So, my plan here is to get everything down and then sell everything for a Monkeyopolis, because the Monkeyopolis is guaranteed to make a minimum of like $1,200 per round. And once I get that, I can get down more farms, more farming towers, upgrade my engineer to a triple XL trap, and then from there I'm just going to be cruising. The biggest problem that this challenge presents is that now you have to pick between what tier 5 of that tower you want to put down. Since it's usually very easy to just get down all 3 tier 5s if they're useful or not in late game, such as I want to get down the top and middle path engineers for late game because the top one does damage and the middle one gives buffs, but not the bottom one because XXXL trap doesn't really have a ton of utility late game, since yes, it does one-shot ZOMGs, but the BMA does that very well as well. And the Ninja is especially the prime example, because later, am I going to have to decide between Grandmaster Ninja or Master Bomber? Both do a lot of damage, but the Grandmaster Ninja does less damage, but it does better with debuffs, and then the Grand Saboteur can decrease the bad health by 25%, and it just devolves into a chaotic mess. So, I have decided that at different stages of the game, I'm going to sell and rebuy the same tower so I can change the tier 5. For example, I'm going to have an XXXL trap at the beginning of the game, but not at the end, because I'm going to sell it for an Ultra Boost and then keep the Ultra Boost for the rest of the game. Redoing this challenge would be very interesting if I wasn't allowed to sell, because then I'd have to really think carefully about what towers I was going to put down. And the only way I think I can get around this is with the temple sacrifice for the Super Monkey. However, once I get those sacrifices, then I can't sell the Super Monkey, so I might have a bad True Sun God. That does actually seem like a really interesting challenge that I might consider doing. But anyways, back to the farming. As you can see now, I have pretty much all of the farming towers I want now. I have a rubber to gold, increasing the amount of money that goes into the XXXL trap, which earned me $18,000 there. Wow, it is really strong. I have a Monkeyopolis, I have a, what's it called, Banana Central, I knew that, please subscribe. I have a helicopter in the bottom, getting me money from the crates, and I have a trade empire. It's not really earning me that much money, but the extra little bit of cash at the end of each round is helpful. It's gotten to the point where it's in the middle of the video. This is usually where YouTubers do that thing you do. What is it? Oh yeah, Psych and LeBribe. Like and hub live. Subba. Take a hike. Like and subscribe. Boom! Nailed it. The BFBs and ZOMGs of the 80s were easy, up until round 90, where it got very easy. DDTs simply do not stand any chance against my camo triple XL trap. Round 95 is going to make me eat those words, but however, for now, I'm going to be completely fine. Oh no. Well, it is about time that I told you all of my worst secrets, because if I'm going to die in this round, I may as well spill the beans. All of my runs were faked, every single one of them. I have not survived a single run. I have many children I have locked in my basement that I actually have my runs do for me. Wait, I can pause. Right, it was a late April Fool's joke, guys. I mean, come on. Would I really fake all of my runs? Wait, no, please do not unsubscribe. The way that I, and definitely not anybody else, beat round 95 in this challenge was very easy. Just get down to Prince of Darkness. Prince of Darkness is an DDT annihilator. It is super good. And now for round 100. This is going to be the most difficult round of all. I am just kidding. Turns out, Special Operations in its Marine does, surprisingly, quite a good amount of damage. I think if I got down another cross path, maybe the top path or bottom path, it would be better. I'm not actually sure. Someone in the comments tell me if cross-pathing the Special Operations actually makes it do more damage with its Marine. I don't have time to test that stuff. I'm spending too much time doing BTD6 videos. And so much more things. After popping the bad with my farming army, I decided at round 104 to build my final setup. Now, I had over $1.7 million, and this is probably enough to get every T5 in the game, plus I don't have to spend any of it on Paragons, and Paragons are expensive. However, I made a pretty fatal mistake here. As you can see, I was doing the glitch with the Chinook where I can place a boat inside the temple's radius. This is so I can upgrade it to a carrier flagship and give the true sun god the carrier flagship buff since it's on the water and is therefore counted by the game as a water tower. However, you may be wondering, Brazio, why the hell is the submarine? And I will say, excellent question! It can't exist! After all, I'm trying to get the final harmonic Mermonkey since it's more useful than the Lord of the Abyss, and plus if I sacrifice the final harmonic for the Energizer, that's not a deal worth it. You can actually put both towers in the water with the true sun god, although I couldn't do it here, which is unfortunate. However, as you can see from this gameplay I did in sandbox mode, it is possible, and I should have retried. However, I didn't, and then I had to sell my TSG and my boat so I could put it on land. A little bit of wasted DPS, but it'll be fine. At the end of round 110, I fixed my mistake and just decided to put the TSG on land. Once again, that's a little bit of wasted DPS, but in the long run, you'll see that 17% doesn't really matter, unless I'm trying to go further than round 300, in which case I will optimize that. I'm not doing that though, because this challenge wasn't really fun, and the reason is... just throwing the bears. The reason is because ultra boosting. See, I get my entire defense this round, and that also means that I get my ultra boost down, and that means I have to ultra boost 22 other towers. Except for the village and farm, I guess, but those don't count. I lied to you. I wasn't building my setup at around 110. I was building it on around 120. How naive of you to believe me. And there it is. This setup will take us to greatness. Now, the rest of the 180 rounds is going to be me ultra boosting the towers, so I'm going to kind of fast forward through that before we get onto the good stuff, the rounds at the end. Round 140, dead. Round 160, dead. Round 180, doesn't even make it onto the screen apparently, what the heck. Round 200, the fortified bads aren't really an issue, once again just use Azili's ability. 220, dead. 240, dead. Round 260, I don't actually have any footage for because I forgot to press record, and now we're at 280. Did I just skip past 140 rounds in 20 seconds? Yes, that's legal obligation for you to subscribe. At this point, I have to use Ezeli's level 20 Hex ability multiple times per round. This is because there are so many bads and fortify bads that my defense simply cannot take on all of them at once. Now, Ezeli can, however, because she is, in my opinion, and also factually, the best late game hero. Adora has absolutely nothing on this defense. That's one of the main reasons why I pick Ezeli in all of these challenges, because even if there are Sun Temples, usually Ezeli's Hex is going to do more damage, because all Adora can do here is buff the speed of my Sun Temple by 2 times, and also give it more range, but nobody really cares. And after 3.5 hours of straight gameplay, I managed to meet and defeat round 300. Honestly, I didn't expect to get this far. I didn't think that only having one of each tower could get you to round 300. How? In what universe can only one of each tower can get to round 300? This is getting absurd at this point. You can get to round 300 with the dumbest possible rule sets. Support only, almost primary only but not quite, chimps mode, apocalypse mode, impossible mode. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if I could get to round 300 with only 3 towers on the screen at a time. You're still here? Why? Why are you still here? There's nothing left. Leave. Go watch someone better. The heck?